This natal chart reading is for Heather. Heather, I'm so excited to look over your chart with you and see all these strengths that you've had received as gifts. As an evolutionary astrologer, we believe that you actually chose this chart when you were coming here because there were a set number of objectives you really wanted to focus on growth. And we're going to start by tackling the most conscious of those, which is called your big three. The ascendant is the first. It's right here on the rising of your chart in Virgo. And the rising sign is all about how we perceive new experiences, the first impression that we make onto others. It is the star that was rising when you were born on the eastern horizon. So it is how you rise or dawn, if you consider the dawn of a morning, how the personality dawns on other people. So this would be seen when you're at a party with people that maybe you don't know really well, your first impressions that you make in new acquaintances or business partners. This is how people who first get the presence of your energy, how they perceive you and how you perceive the situation that you're in. So, in the sign of Virgo, this is an earth sign. So, when people first meet you, they get this impression that you're down to earth, so to speak. You have this logical ability to take in information, really an analytical style of observation. If you're in a new situation, sometimes you might come off a little bit reserved. And that's only because the mind is very active. You like to get some facts. You want to know the who's, the what's, the whys, and the hows of what's going on before you start with your sharing of your personality. So it's this observant tendency, and it's really done in a mindfulness way of the Virgo sign itself is one of the servant. And this triggers an image of someone who is serving others, but it's not a less than them servant. It's a generosity of spirit of wanting to help people who are maybe less fortunate than themselves, or wanting to bring order and wanting to bring some type of organization into a new place. In my experience, Virgo rising people tend to find themselves in situations that are sometimes a little chaotic or disorganized, or people are not sure how to react and do things. A Virgo rising person is the gift of being able to organize, assess, analyze, get things together. It's a very to-do list kind of mind, making a checklist, going through the next steps, and it's providing the sense of bringing order into other people's lives. So people with Virgo rising sometimes are very good at being professional organizers or professional cleaners, or being really good at handling accounting or books, things that require a sharp eye for detail and being able to collect information before acting on things too soon. So this is a gift for you because I see in other areas of your chart the this earth element is not seen. So this groundedness that you get right away to start new situations in life really helps keep your feet on the ground in life, and it brings this sense of competence and a really right away ability for people to think that you can handle things. Like you're not going to think something's out of control too much that you would walk away from. This is the somebody who could also be like a first responder, someone who, when there's something that needs to be done, does it. And you keep your feet on the ground. You don't get swept away in the chaos of the moment. You kind of live for it, even if you don't really intentionally mean to do that. That is what you do, and you help other people stay calm and focused and organized by your presence in whatever capacity it is that you find yourself in. So that's the rising sign. So then we move on to your sun sign. So they say if you are ever out of alignment, you just don't really feel like yourself, well, the quickest way to realign is to follow the path of your sun. The sun is just like in our solar system is the brightest shining thing that we see. Just like in the birth chart, then it shines the brightest in your birth chart. It is the one that is our conscious ego, how you really would identify yourself, and how would the people close to you in life identify you as well. So this is when people really get to know you, when you feel like you have a chance to shine in your life. This is the qualities that you really give off, and it radiates to those people around you. So, and the sign of Aries, this is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is known for being the spark that gets life started. It's the initiator. It's the one who is the trailblazer for new experiences, the one holding the space, the one that has the ability to live brightly and loudly and take up space just because they really want to feel the joy of being alive. This is somebody who waits for no one, who is really ambitious and passionate and really living an inspired kind of life. When it's in the seventh house of partnerships, it's a little bit different because sometimes this energy is brought out by your partnerships. So, with having a Virgo rising and an Aries sun in the seventh house, you might sometimes feel more like the Virgo side of you, the more calculated and assessing the situation and really being deliberate on your actions that you take in life. But this Aries sun in the seventh house, when you're with someone who is very important to you, usually like a spouse or a partner, sometimes it can be a business partner. Um, it's the relationship part of you. So usually it is the spouse or the serious partner. This is where your identity really blooms and you really feel like you know who you are because of how you are acting and perceived in your relationships. It brings out this new side of you and the true side of you that really lights up your world. So, that being said, this would say that your chart is suggesting that you came here this life, you want to really experience all that is a meaningful relationship. You're doing many things, like our charts always do many things, but where you really shine in your life is in your partnerships. So you would always want to take a moment in life and consider your relationships. What's your primary relationship? How's that going? Does it make you really feel full of life and passionate and inspired? Do you feel like you would just want to be this burning inferno of energy? And that's the Aries. That's the Aries in you that really comes to life in your relationships. And it's very important to you. So, that being said, then the inverse would be true that when you're more independently focused, you're not in that mindset, which is interesting in Aries because Aries is a very independent sign. So your challenge and the beauty that is this situation is that you burn brightly as an independent person in your partnerships. So Aries is not independent, saying they don't want to be in a relationship, but they're very independent in that relationship. You have your own ideas, your own goals. This is also going to come back again in another part of this chart reading. Your ideas and ambitions are very personal to you, and something that you don't need to do in conjunction with someone else. You would like to really shine in your own part of life, but it's saying that the partnership is important to you. You would like to be with someone who also sees that about you, how ambitious you are, and how much you really enjoy life, and how much you're willing to fearlessly tackle your own dreams. So it is a partnership, but it's not a codependent one. You don't want to need somebody. You want to celebrate being with somebody. So it is just interesting because that Aries in a different part of the chart could say this is where you are a solo act. But since it's in the house of partnerships, no, this is you being a solo act in a relationship, being the leader of the relationship. Sometimes people with this placement live separately than someone else, even though they're in a relationship. They're just not really so codependently meshed into somebody else sometimes. But it's still a meaningful partnership that really makes you feel more like yourself. So that's a fun first little duality here in your personality. And we'll see that again because nothing is straightforward. Everybody has multiple layers and dimensions to the personality. So we're going to move on to the moon sign. So this is still accessible in the consciousness, but the moon represents our inner emotions. It's our emotional security. Where did we first feel safe and secure? Usually it's identified with a mother figure because that is the first person in most people's situation that offered them a sense of feeling secure, right? They comfort you when you cry, they feed you when you're hungry. Those are the first interactions we get to feel secure. So later in life, it can be a relationship with that parent, or it could just be where we go to feel that same sense of emotional security. What do we look for? How do we get it? And it can be our subconscious reactions because sometimes we're not always fully aware of these deep motivating emotions. And it can also be our deepest relationships, not only our intimate relationship with the one who cared for us first, like mother or whoever that is for you, but it's also who we are with now, that partnership that's so important in your life. Well, you have this emotional need, this security that you need from those relationships. And this is a side of you that only really close, personal, intimate people to you are going to see this side of you. And only when you're really in touch with yourself that you see this side of you. But being a Leo, so this is the sign of Leo, a Leo moon is also a fire sign. So now we have this person who comes off very grounded, but has a fire sun sign, one who's burning passionately through their life, and then a Leo fire sign who's also similarly um, catching fire, being excitable, wanting to spark life and creation in all that they do. So when you have a Leo moon, this is somebody who's very creative and really needs to express themselves on some level. So you get your emotional security from the world that you create around you, how you dress, how you speak, how you style your hair, how you release the emotions within through your artwork, all of the things in life that you can touch with your style and presence is Leo energy. You're creating things around you, and it is a piece, an extension of who you are. So this would suggest maybe you had a parent, a mother, or someone who felt close to you that was very warm and affectionate and very loud in their own rights. Maybe not volume speaking loud, but you could feel their presence. They would leave a mark, they had a signature that they left around them. And now you also feel that way too when you are creating something that is yours and it shows on the outside that reflects on how you feel on the inside. You feel this emotional connection and this ease in yourself. It also suggests that you have a very warm and generous spirit about you, and you really feel closest to people when they reciprocate that back to you. So you have a lot of generosity and love to give. There's a playful side, there's this competitive side, even. And you really want to experience that in relationships that deeply matter to you. If you're not having fun with someone or in your own life, then you're going to feel a little bit emotionally restless. You need to experience people who are warm, generous, loud in some way, creatively, that they really have this ability to express what's going on inside, that they're not this deep mystery, that they want to feel their emotions, get it out, and then get on with the joy of living and the fun of life. So that is the Leo moon that really is willing to feel everything and then be more creative and have more expressions because of it. The moon in the 11th house is somebody that might have more of these connections with people than other people do. So you're a very warm, generous spirit that is attracting people in your life who like that and feel warm around you. And you might be surprised like how many people would say that about you, that you think maybe um it's these intimate relationships where people really see that about you. But in the 11th house of friendships and organizations, of groups of people, with your moon there, you emotionally connect to a lot of people. And you might find that they see you as this very like loyal friend and emotionally connected and willing to really do a lot for other people. And you might have people who then open up so much to you, and you can have these beautiful friendships because of this willingness for your emotional vulnerability. You have the side of you that people know that once you have loyalty with them, that you really would do anything for them, and that you're looking for that in return. You want a reciprocation here. You want somebody in your friend circles who are real people who actually express their emotions too, and they don't always have a poker face about them. That'll be a valuable friendship to you in life. So that's the big three. Those are the most conscious sides of the personality. But then we have these little three, which are more precise, they're more discriminating in what they are acknowledging here. So when we look at your chart, you are Virgo rising, and your Virgo is actually ruled by this planet over here called Mercury. And that's important for you because not everyone has this planet as what's called the chart ruler, but it is for you. And that means that it's really going to magnify this intellectual energy you have. Mercury is all about what we think about, what we speak about, how our brain processes function. And for you in the sixth house, it means that, your everyday life, the sixth house is our routine, it's our health, it can be our job, something that becomes a routine or a habit for us in our everyday life. When Mercury is here, you might have been drawn to jobs where you have to use your mind, you have to communicate, you have to think well. People value your intellectual abilities. And being a Virgo rising, that doesn't surprise me because that comes easy for you. You think a lot. You might like to have an active mind. You might want more challenges in the job than other people do. It might make you feel like you're being intellectually stimulated and you need that to feel successful, to not get bored. You want to feel challenged and you want to feel like you're accomplishing and problem solving on the daily. So if you're not in a job that's like that, you might just have hobbies that challenge your intellect, or you might be really into reading mysteries or doing like crossword puzzles, just things or actual jigsaw puzzles, challenging the mind. And in the sign of Pisces, Mercury doesn't love being in Pisces because it's not as detailed. Pisces is a little bit more ambiguous. But this just means to me that you really have this boundaryless ability to focus on many different topics. And it's a sign that is flowing. It's not just this tunnel vision, it's open to receiving new information. So if you get stuck on something, you have a great ability to pivot and find a new solution, or see a different angle, or find a different connection, seek out people who can assist you. You don't get stuck in this box. It's a very much out of the box kind of thinking with this really great imaginative potential. You can basically ponder lots of ideas and lots of solutions. So you would be someone that would be really great at like coming up with a new pitch or marketing. Um, the intellectual stimulation is always there, and with this great imagination and potential for creativity. So hopefully that your daily life or your job takes advantage of this. This could also still be very good with the analytical mind of the number crunching and stuff like that, but it kind of gives you this bigger picture ability too. So things that have not been seen yet, or it helps you um, just in your daily flow of life, being more easygoing than some other people who, hit a wall and don't know what to do. You're able to get past it a little bit more. And that can translate to everything in your day. And it might also include how your health is with yourself. So the sixth house can also be our health routines. There's a spiritual connection to the Pisces sign. So you might find that you're drawn to exercises or an exercise regimen or workout routine that you enjoy that has some type of spiritual connotation to it. So that could be like a yoga practice or the Tai Chi, some type of transcendental meditation, things like that, that work the body and the spirit together and the mind in this position of a mentally active Mercury, a spiritual Pisces, and a sixth house of the body, really targeting the mind, body, and spirit in your exercise practice. This holistic sense of health is going to be really motivating to you and really successful. Your energy here wants to combine all of those things into your health. You might be drawn to like homeopathic remedies or things like that. But there's this sense of all those three elements coming together, the mind, body, and spirit in your wellness journey. So, moving on now to Venus, this is how we relate to other people. This is what we're looking for when we're engaging in these partnerships, which is very important to you. Your relationships, your primary relationships are a big focus in your life. So, what your Venus helps you see, well, what is it that you need in a relationship and how do you relate back to others? So, yours is in the eighth house of Taurus, in the sign of Taurus. So for you, long-term relationships, people that you know that are not going to just be fair weather friends, people who are looking for relationships, wanting something real is important to you. And also experiencing the luxuries of a romance, the sensualities of it. You want to experience the good things in life with somebody, the good food, the beautiful music, the nature scenery, the deep massages, anything that really gets the senses alive and awake is going to be a really great way for you to bond with a partner and become really romantically engaged. And there's a sense of in the eighth house is where we really want to go deeper with people. We like to merge. And I think that's interesting because your sun in the seventh house is in Aries. So you want to maintain this independent personality. You want to have your own calendar. You want to still be maintaining your ambitious beliefs. I just don't see you getting with somebody and then like ending your career or just doing whatever they want to do all the time. Like, no, you're still going to have your thing going. You just also really want to be with this person, and that's beautiful. But with the Venus in the eighth house, it's suggesting though that you still really do love to fully know this person that you choose to be with. You want to feel like you're on the same page with this person, that you can really build a life with this person. The Taurus energy here is also an earth sign, an earth sign, excuse me. You really appreciate people who bring you back to reality, who can make you feel grounded, that they can be your rock for you, so to speak. You need somebody who is going to be able to hear you out. And when you have great ideas or a challenging day, good or bad, that they can handle your release of all of that onto them. And that you in return will be their rock for them. And that's how you relate. You both are the solid steady in an ever-changing or really active life. They're your stop, they're your pause, they're your safe place. and you really flourish knowing that you have that foundation with somebody. You might be doing different things a lot of the day, but when you come back together, it's solid ground again, and you're ready to enjoy the simple and the slow and the peaceful life with this person. So they're they're going to really catch your attention when they want that too, when they really have an ambitious life. But when they're with you, this is a place of peace and comfort and enjoying the sensual side of life with each other, and kind of backing away from all the noise that goes on outside of that. The union that you want with somebody to really feel relating in a language that is comfortable, it brings you a sense of harmony, is one that's going to be of peace and consistency and sensuality. So that would be the love. Mars is interesting because this is kind of our drive, but you ever heard the saying like men are from Mars, women are from Venus? This is, not completely untrue. While the masculine energy of the Mars planet is really like the drive, for women, or for however you identify as your feminine energy. Mars then becomes what you're sexually attracted to. So see how it can be different than Venus. What really works for relationships, sometimes we get caught up in Mars because it's exciting and it makes us attracted instantly, and we really desire somebody who has these traits, and it's how we also are driven in ourselves. So although the relationship with the Taurus, how I just expressed, would be most beneficial for you relating to someone else and really feeling this sense of harmony in your relationships, the Mars energy might catch your attention first. So an Aquarius energy in the fifth house, you may really be attracted to people who are highly ambitious. Maybe they like to have these playful competitions with you, or they just look like they're really enjoying life. That really gets you excited. And in the Aquarian energy, they're really not worried about what they look like or what people might be saying. They really just do what they feel like doing. And there's this freedom in that you find really attractive in them. And what's great about that is that it also speaks to you too. So you are somebody who might have these ideas of how you want to have fun and enjoy life, and or how you are suddenly inspired to do something, and you have this great, like, powerful drive to pursue things. So the fifth house is really like our creative expression, and it's also about wanting to enjoy being alive. So it's very much about your identity and how you hone in and you express your creative self. You're you're independently going for things that inspire you. This Mars energy is one that really lights up that Aries energy too. It's the ruler of Aries. It's this independent force that goes after what it wants. And in Aquarius, it's really not looking back to see who's with them. It's this um, pioneering spirit of really wanting to chase after your dreams and really do it in a way that you can achieve them, that you really put all into it. So it's very passionate, but it's intellectual too. It's thinking about how you're going to get it. It's really trying to um, put all in and really go until you reach it. So I just like this combination because I see this now in your Aries sun, that this side of you have really high personal ambitions, and you're able to pursue them in the sense of fearlessness. And you really can do that. And I think it really sparks your interest in other people when you see that they're doing that too. And I think that's how you get into these relationships where you can maintain your independence, but still be with somebody because you're attracted to people who are like that too. but then you still long term want to be able to have a solid foundation with somebody. And I think that works well with your Aquarius energy because that's also what's called a fixed energy. So the people that you're attracted to, you also like that they have staying power in their goals. You see them pursue what they're wanting to get out of life, and that they're actually focused on it and they're ambitious, and that you appreciate that in someone and they appreciate that in you. So I see people, yourself and the people that you're really wanting to be in a partnership with, full of energy and fully engaged in what it is you really want to do and really living your life. And that's one of the glue that sticks you with this person, is that although it may be different interests, that you equally respect, that you're not just sitting around letting life pass you by. You're both very much in the driver's seat of your own life and pursuing what it is that makes you feel alive. And you really need that in your relationships, and you really need that in your life. And this just is the chart of somebody who has a lot to create in this life, has a lot of goals, wants to do a lot, wants to get out there, really feel like they're living and that they're able to achieve their dreams in life. So I hope that's what you're doing. And I hope that you feel that spark and that energy inside of you with this air energy and with your fire energy. This gives a very like extroverted push. Like maybe you don't identify necessarily as an extrovert because this is more than just the personality, but this is a push in life, a forward moving energy of doing, accomplishing, acting, trying new things, and having like adventure, not just staying in one spot and letting life happen to you. This is someone who creates their own destiny. So let's see here. That's the main 6 points of the personality. Um, Now I'm going to shift to what we call the nodes. So the nodes are actually not planets; they're just points. So they're just calculations, and they suggest one, the south node is something that either in a past life, if you're into evolutionary astrology, or in this life, if you're not, either way works, that you have this really like golden touch at something. You're really good at this. You either came into this life because with this gift because you've already mastered it from a previous life, or through the events of the life that has happened so far, you've acquired these skills and you're really great at it. The other point, the north node, would suggest that this is the opposite of that. You have not yet achieved this version of your soul, and it really wants to experience this. So you come in, or you over the time acquire certain gifts, and then the north node is where your soul is destined to go. Whatever happens in your chart in your life, you're really all of these efforts working together, all of these personality traits and motivations are really helping guide you to this north node because the soul really wanted to experience that this life. So it's something that takes a lifetime to achieve because it is through the efforts of everything that you do here to now get this. So for you, your south node is in the ninth house in the sign of Gemini. So you come in here being really gifted with this, but you're really destined to release this. You want to leave this behind over this life, and you want to move into your north node in Sagittarius in the third house. What's interesting for you is that these are actually in its opposite ruler's house. So this axis, this theme here is important because you're shifting psyches of your settings. So, but to keep it just basic here, let's talk about the South Node is in Gemini. That's an air sign. So you have this highly intellectual ability that I've already talked about. I hope by now you understand that that is true. That Virgo rising, you are quick minded, you understand things, Um, in the sign of Gemini here, it would just suggest that you are excelling at being a student. You learn quickly, you can self-study, anything you want to learn, you feel that you will be able to. There's really nothing off limits in your world of study. You can mimic people, you can learn on the job, you could watch a YouTube video, you could read 1,000 books on it, you could go somewhere and figure it out. You got the mental ability to really learn anything you want to. People like that about you, that you're very teachable and it gets you far in life. That is the gift. That's your golden touch. You might pick up language easy. You might be able to read people, their mannerisms really easily. It's worked for you. And in this life so far, um, or from a past life, it was something that you really treasured about yourself because not everybody has that. And it's very special to be able to have such a high mental ability. Going forward in this life, you're wanting to experience something else that is on the opposite. It's always the opposite for everybody. It's 180 degrees away. It's in a different land here. So you're going towards the Sagittarius. And the Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini. So instead of being the student, it becomes the teacher. So Sagittarius is one who's usually revered as being wise and now is some type of mentor or some type of shaman, some type of spiritual leader, philosophical guru, seen as some type of profound knowledge on whatever subject it pursued. So you would like to eventually get to a place where you really feel like you're now passing on information. All of this research, I joke that the Gemini South Node is like the scientific method. It's always been collecting data, testing hypotheses, finding answers, but now they leave that behind in Sagittarius. They're no longer running experiments. They have a solid belief on whatever it is that their data has accumulated over a lifetime. Now they are sure on what they have, a knowledge that they have obtained. And now they're ready to get on their soapbox about it and, so to speak, preach to other people. They have the confidence. Sagittarius can be joked as being this almost like self-righteous because they're so confident. They can almost come off arrogant in the way that they think they know things. And it's really a strength if it's your North Node because you're going to embody this at some point. You're going to be the person that people will ask for their opinion on things, and these are usually topics that are not always visible, but when it's in your third house that changes because the third house is actually ruled by Gemini. It is our everyday awareness. It is our skills that it takes to be in reality. So when you have your North Node in the third house in Sagittarius, you become the wise shaman of the community, of the everyday, of your interactions, of how you express your thoughts and how you use your thoughts to build bridges with other people. So now, over a lifetime of being an expert at communicating and relaying ideas, you do this on this profound level. So, what do? Are you writing a book? Are you giving lectures? Are you bringing people together to form groups that really make big waves in this world? It's the energy of someone who has been so gifted at their ability to communicate and express their ideas over time that now they create this following and people really want to know what you have to say on a wider scale. So great things come from this and their ability to reach a lot of people. So whatever your message is, which it is worth noting that your MC, your highest aspirations in your ability to grow in yourself, is also in Gemini. So you're always having ideas and you're going to eventually hone it in on these these tying it into beliefs that you have, values, moralities, something that you want to express to the world that is of your own mind that you have been collecting data on your whole life. So you have some type of message to share. In Sagittarius, it's to reach out, make people challenge their own beliefs about it. What in our everyday world are they missing that you see the bigger picture on? The big questions, the why are we here? What's after this? What are we leaving for the next generation? All of these big questions, you all of your data collecting and all of your experiences and communications in life and your ability to interpret data and information and then get it out in a way that people can understand. All of that is to be used to help your soul experience sharing your truth of the bigger philosophies in life with people in the everyday worlds and then bringing them together on it. So, um, that's pretty exciting stuff. I like to see that in the notes. I feel like it takes a very competent mind and an ambitious person to have some type of project like that. So it just makes me feel like you're very skilled in whatever you do and you have the potential to really reach people and let them see how you've become someone who really has something to say on a more profound level than maybe people know. I think I'll stop here. I feel like that was a lot of information. Let me know if you have any questions. The the reading is focused on these areas, but if there's something that stuck out to you that you want more information about, I'm happy to go over that with you. All right, thank you so much.